All right, what a day. Finishing the day up quite nicely. SIDU is ripping into the close, but I cannot trade this because the level 2 is not in sync with the chart at all. The price is completely, kind of diverges, and the level 2 will be moving and the chart won't be. And my fills are so laggy. I was able to get part of this breakout move, but damn, I had to stop trading it because I just kept getting crappy fills. It was just so jerky and choppy, and even though it's going up, it looks clean, but like the order book is so like clunky, and sometimes the level 2 will be out of sync with the chart, and it'll just be very hard to gauge what the heck is going on. So I'm going to leave SIDU alone, even though it's pretty much going almost parabolic. We're up about 200% on the day, on 200% on SIDU. That's insanity. Probably the biggest gapper we've had, in a while. I did do pretty well in the pre-market. So let's go through. Right now, I'm finishing up $382.37. Traded 6 different stocks, red on 3 and green on 3. So let's go through these trades. We're going to check out EVOK. It was the first one to pop up. And this one, bananas pre-market. Straight up. No pullback. And so my first entry, I didn't see it until about right here. This looks like CMRA is going straight up. Let's check out CMRA. Oh boy. Let's we might trade this. Okay, let's just go review the trades. I'll keep this on the side. If it does start going parabolic, maybe I'll jump on it. So EVOK. Okay, there we go. So I didn't see EVOK until it's kind of like halfway through the move, maybe the break over 3. And I was really waiting for a solid setup, like maybe a 1-minute bull flag or something like that. But just kept creeping higher, and then this candle ripped a good like 60%, 50%. No, sorry, 20%. This candle ripped like 20%, and I kind of just jumped on for the break of this previous candle, and I took it off so fast because I thought it was extended, and it ended up going kind of without me. I was kind of like a break-even trade there. Then here again, another break-even trade, because again I thought it was extended, which it was. So I didn't really get any of this first front side in EVOK. And that kind of left me a little bit with FOMO. I had a little bit, like, wanting to be up on the day because there was a nice move and I didn't make any money on it. So then I go ahead and I start buying off VWAP, thinking the VWAP is going to hold, but then I take that off for a scratch trade. And here I start buying for maybe a possible higher low, and then I reclaim a VWAP and I run back through 4. But that was very far-fetched thinking back on it. And I ended up taking about a 10-cent loss, about a $50 loss there. And then I bought the bottom of this candle, so getting bought up off the 20 EMA. And I got a couple cents on that for 750 shares. So right now I'm sitting like small loss on the day on EVOK. And, a couple scalps here as it kind of reclaim the VWAP. And then here I start, getting a little bit more aggressive, thinking we're going to rip through that high. So I buy for 78, looking for some continuation, start taking some off to kind of manage my risk, but like adding back if I'm seeing strength. Still kind of going sideways, take a couple of scratch trades, and then it pops up. And I'm like, all right, this might break through 4 here. So I start adding and adding to my position. I added another 1,000 shares at 91, look for that breakthrough 4, and this candle comes in and it dumps on me, and I just panic sell on the break of, obviously, as it starts going red, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a fake out. So I just hit the sell market order or sell the bid. Lost 20 cents on that on about 150 share. No, 100. No, sorry, 1,000 shares, and that's about $150 loss. So I had a $150 loss on that. And then I bought like a panic sell-off, trying to capture, maybe we get bought up off the bottom of this candle, and I take that off for, I don't even know if it was a win or a loss. I don't know. It could be a small win. A lot of orders on this candle, but I ended up negative. I was red 150 on the day, and then here I start going for red to green. At the open, I was thinking, we'd reclaim this 9 EMA and then run through the high. It was a good thesis. It was a hot stock of the day. Definitely, I had the right idea. It just didn't work out. And then that added to my loss, another small loss there, 10-cent loss on my starter size. So it's another $25 loss, or $30 loss. And so that brings me, on this stock, I'm down $205, and I'm sitting down $200 on the day. I'm like, shit. What the? I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get back green today. And even here again, I tried going for that red to green, but it just doesn't have follow through. And I took that off for a break even. And then we had another stock pop up here. I think it was AUST. No, not AUST yet. REV. EVOK, SIDU, sorry. SIDU, this popped up, and this was my chance. I was eyeing this, and down here, I took my starter share size on the hold of the VWAP. It dipped down below. I held strong. I was confident. If this, I was in only 500 shares. I was in $1,000. SIDU is ripping up again. Jesus Christ, this thing might go to the moon. I can't trade it, though, because I can't trade it. It's just not, the price action is not for me. My orders, are slipping, they're lagging. I'll have an order set and it just won't get filled. And then it'll get filled like a minute later. And then I realize, then the price is going to be lower. And then I can't even sell because I'm not even filled yet. But, it went through the broker. And I'm like waiting for it to get filled as the price is going lower. That's like the worst feeling ever. So I'm not trading SIDU. I don't care if it goes to $10. I just need to protect the profits that I have on the day. So held strong, pretty confident here on this move on SIDU. Catalyst, let's see if it has a catalyst. I forget. Yeah, it had SIDU Space is a teammate at NASA, $3.5 billion exploration extra vehicle activity service. So it's a contract news on $3.5 billion. So that's pretty significant. You're definitely going to see a nice move on this. So I held strong here, and then looking to add into the high, which I started adding, and then at one point I actually got shaken out a little bit. I think it was in this position I took my small winnings when I should have been adding and holding strong for the high. But I get back in, 1,500 shares, and then I hold, and then I add more for the break out of this level here at 43, and then adding for the break at 250. And I was taking my profits and 250s and 240s, and that was a 200. I think it was like a $250 win on this stock, just that trade alone. So I was like, wow, one trade, I made back all of those losses I made on EVOK. And, thank God. I thought, I was going to have a small red day today, or or a $200 red day today. So even though I was red, I stayed calm, cool, and collected, waited for that next setup, and I went for it. I didn't hesitate. And then here I went for a dip buy, looking for some continuation here, first 1 minute pullbacks. But, nothing really happened in this area. I kept consolidating, so I kept, taking small losses or, sideways, scratch trades. And here it went for, maybe a bounce off of this. It was consolidating here, so I was going to take a trade off of the support here as it was forming. and then add off, reclaim the bounce off the VWAP, looking for that move, but still kind of go sideways. So I kind of shake myself out for maybe a small win or so, or a small loss. Nothing really significant there until here it popped up out of this range, and I got 500 shares at 262. Beautiful fill there, and then rode that up. Sold it kind of early, actually, 269. I could have held that for an extra 10 cents. But, it is what it is. I did really well in the stock. I was a little bit conservative there at the end. But, I could have got an extra 10 cents, extra 5%. And then here at the open, this is where I did really, really well. So this popped up and it held. It kind of, this candle was like jerking around all over the place, up and down, up and down, up and down. But it held, it closed over the 9 EMA. So I'm like, all right, we didn't have a false breakout at the first candle to open, which is a good sign. That means there's buyers on this holding this up. And then this candle comes in and starts ripping through this level. And I get a bad fill. I'm all the way up at 295. So after the breakout, and I'm looking for the break of 3, and I start taking that off. Start taking that off in this candle, and then I add back at 302, taking that off for a small win, and then I add back at 311, too high there, and I take that off for about a scratch, and then here again I get faked out to the high point as like very extended, having a lot of wicks here, and I get wicked out a little bit for a 2-cent loss, and then it dips down, and I start adding, as it gets bought up, thinking, we'd break out of this 3.2 area and run to 3.3 and 3.4, but we kept stalling out. Took that, small loss there as well. And then here I got a dip buy again. It was getting bought up, so I started adding. But, never really had that power to bust through that 320 level yet. So I took a small win on that, 3-cent win. Very small profits there. And then here, kind of another scratch as I don't know why. I don't know why I closed that so soon. I could have had another 10 cents there. Because it reclaimed the 9 EMA. I don't know why it would sell that right here. If it's showing it's in an uptrend, it's holding this resistance level, which is now support. It's bouncing off that level, and I'm adding on that reclaiming the 9 EMA. So there's a good chance, we'd see a retest of the high. And I didn't hold through that, which I'm kind of disappointed. But then I FOMO back in, 10 cents higher. So I'm willing to buy it 10 cents higher after this next candle, but I should be able to. I want to get to the point where I'm able to hold strong on this hold of the 9 EMA and then looking for that retest of the high after, if it's still in an uptrend and there's a high volume stock, turning the float many times over because, I missed 10 cents there. So here, another scratch trade there. This one was actually a loss. I was adding into the high of this candle, and then it flipped red, and I panic sold for about an 8-cent loss on 1,000 shares. That's like $80. And so I actually gave back, at one point I gave back all the profits that I made on this leg on these couple of trades in here. I was up 150 on the day, so I was down 200, and then I was up 150 at the end of pre-market, and then here, up 50 at the end of pre-market. Then I made like $100 here, $110 there on this first leg, and then I gave back $100 on this area here, and that was a little bit frustrating. So I was only $50 up on the day, and then it gives one more opportunity. SIDU in the morning. Here it kind of breaks back over the VWAP for the 3rd time, holding support down there. And it starts ripping up pretty high. I'm looking for, the break at this level, 320. That's the area you're looking for. I start adding for the break of 3, and I take, a quick profit there, not thinking it would really break out because it was only at $3. And then here, started getting the increase in volume, and this is where I started buying. My first entry was 317, 318, and 324. So as it's increasing and rising with volume into the high of 323, and then added again at 322. I'm on smaller share size because it's later in the morning. I wanted to protect, I didn't want to, get a bad, get caught in a bad flush, this late in the morning. I'd rather take a $50 day than, a $200 loss. So I take that 321 and then add at 322. going into the high, and then taking this off. Nice exit here in the 30s, almost pretty much in the high of this wick here. I was taking my profits. And then I had 100 shares to let it ride. I thought it was gonna like really rip up, you know, another 50% and give some continuation. And I'd actually stop out for a loss on the last 100 shares. No, I lied. Sorry, I didn't have 100 shares. I sold all of my position up here, and then I went for the dip buy down here at 317. But it was a very high dip buy, and I ended up stopping out for a small loss on 100 shares. So very, very small loss there. SIDU still ripping up here at the end of the day. Then here, I guess I'll go over the end of day trades here on SIDU. Really nothing much here. We had the high at 340. So here at the pullback, you know, kind of scalping here. I didn't want to get caught in a flush, so I kind of took a scratch there and then added back for the break at 340 and adding. And I only got, you know, I've got a really bad fills on this. It didn't hold long enough. I was a little bit too spooked. I didn't want to take a huge loss, so I kind of really lowered my potential reward on SIDU. And then on top of that, you know, I had trouble getting fills, and you know, the chart would like be out of sync with the level 2. So it was really hard trading this at the end of the day. And then I just kind of gave up as I couldn't really read the price action anymore. So it's good that I was able to stop trading this when I realized, you know, it's just not on my side today. And I didn't want to give back all those profits I made in the morning. Here again, you know, got a nice bounce off the 90 MA, but did get faked out here at the top. Yeah, but it looks like, wow, it's over 220% now up on the day. Crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I can just see the level 2 here, active trader ladder. It's just so choppy. It's like not fluid at all. I love when stocks are just so fluid. You can get in and out easily and fast with, you know, there's high liquidity, small spreads on the stock. That's like when it trades like butter, it's just like it feels amazing. But yeah, this is not like that at all. It was kind of like it at the open, and even pre-market was kind of choppy. So, but it was pretty like buttery, like right in here. But pre-market and like towards the end of the day, very, very choppy on the order book here. Really impressive move though, 224%. Crazy. That's bananas. It's like a banana squeeze. It's a damn banana squeeze. And AUST, let's look at AUST. So SIDU, I made actually, by the end of the day, I made $341 on that stock. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. And AUST, took a couple trades and kind of fumbled the football here. I was eyeing it, you know, down in this consolidation level. And then it started, you know, the spreads widened up. And, you know, we had buyers up at 210 and sellers were all the way down at 195. And I just, you know, I was getting just chopped out left and right here. And then here, you know, I was adding here for, you know, potential move past 240, which is, you know, looked like a good setup. You know, volume was increasing. But then it just flipped red in an instant, and thank God it was only 200 shares, but on 200 shares, I lost 14 cents. So that's a $30 loss there, 23 actually, $23 loss there. Or maybe $30 because it was actually up on it on the day. And here again at CMRA, this is a previous gapper from yesterday, up a lot from yesterday. And here you get nothing really. I don't know what I did here. I FOMO'd into this, and then I got faked out here, which, you know, there's no other reason to sell. It's holding the 90 EMA. I don't know why I'm selling. Sometimes, you know, there's a lot of fat for me to cut off in my trading. See, like stuff like this, I really need to cut this out. Like this is useless. This is useless. I shouldn't be selling. You know what? I shouldn't even be buying. You know, if I'm buying, I should be, you know, as volume is increasing into the high. not, you know, on some just random range trade, you know, that can instantly flush on you. And so that's what I'm always thinking about, you know, any sort of indication that's going to flush, I'm selling. And so that's why, you know, I'm getting, you know, faked out here when I shouldn't be. So there's just a lot of fat that I still need to cut out in my trading strategy. Just like useless trades that I don't need to take. And, you know, some may be small wins, some may be small losses, but, you know, at the end of the day, it kind of is just like a wash. So what I need to do is just keep the best and then cut the rest, as they say. And this is one of those that I gotta need to cut. And here I look for a break of $4, small scalp there. CMRA, nothing much, actually down on it. EWMP was a crazy one that I was eyeing. It just showed up on the scanner, and there's a small float. It kind of looked like those other stocks, you know, SIDU and AUST and REV, CMRA. They kind of all looked like this stock as well. So I figured that this would run up as well, and we did. We saw, you know, a huge rip here, about 25%. Actually, more than that, probably like 35%. Pulled back to the 9 EMA and then hugged it, broke back over to VWAP on high buying volume. So this showed me that there's still buyers interested on this. If it's relatively high, you know, buyers buying off the support and for the break of the VWAP. And then, you know, had a nice ABCD pattern. Here's the higher low, and then the break back over to VWAP, and that's when volume was increasing into the high. I had my starter position at 313, you know, for the break of this pivot. Perfect entry. Perfect entry. This is picture perfect. I couldn't have traded this better. I couldn't have traded, even though I was in 1,000 shares. I was in $3,500 position size. That's not my biggest ever position, but I had the best entry and the best exit. I couldn't have traded this any better. And you know what? I was eyeing this before it hit anybody else's chat rooms. It showed up on my scanner, and I was like, oh, this looks good. This looks good. Let's be patient here. And then it started popping up in this nice strong candle into the pivot point. Take my starter, 100 shares. You know, so if it flops on me and rejects hard, I'm down, what, 20 cents? That's $20. You know, that's nothing. And here, you know, you got this huge candle ripping into the high, and I just go all in, not all in, sorry, 1,000 shares. So I'm in 1,000 shares at this point, going into the high for the break of 350. We get the break of 350. I start taking it off in the 360s. Beautiful trade. Like, wow. I'm so proud of this trade here that I saw it and I figured out my strategy. I was confident to get a nice starter position, perfect share size, you know, nothing too big, and then adding aggressively when the volume is coming in. And on these stocks in the past couple weeks, or, you know, past couple of days, just since Monday, these stocks you just have to get on kind of quick because they move up quick and then they dump. So just for example here, it didn't have any continuation. And so here we got the first pullback here. I was looking for some continuation. I was kind of adding a little bit high. We never got it, so I took it off for about break even there. And then here again, I start buying, you know, as it's getting bought up on the wick. I thought we would see that next 5%, 10% push, and we didn't get it. So I took again, you know, a small scratch. And then I missed this. No, I was adding here, but I sold, I guess, a portion of my position, and then I held the rest for, you know, this breakout here that ended up being a false breakout, and it dumped on you. Then here it ripped back up, and then this is where I kind of got faked out a little bit at 369, and then it pushed up to this level here, and I was adding, looking for that breakout, and it never happened. It took a small loss there. And then here, you know, another scratch trade, and then here again about another scratch trade. But I was looking for that push through 387. That didn't happen. And then it went backside super, super hard. That's why you got to be careful with these stocks. They rip up quick, and you got to get on them, get aggressive, and then you got to get out. You can't be holding for, you know, another leg up, because sometimes, most of the time, they don't resolve in some more continuation. I think SIDU might be, you know, one of those stocks that you get every, like, once a month. These huge gappers that just keep going up all day and get that huge consolidation and ripped up. I should have got more aggressive here on this breakout, because you had a whole day worth of support, and now at the end of the day, volume coming in to the high. Perfect pullback here before the breakout. Got a nice push. That was a 7% candle right there. I should have got really aggressive. But then again, you know, here at this point, I'm up $350 on the day, you know, way past my daily goal. And, you know, now I'm not really thinking, you know, to be risking everything that I just made, you know, on an end of the day squeeze that may or may not happen. So that's kind of what I was thinking. And then REV, I took a position. Let's take a look at this here. I think I took, okay, it doesn't want to pop up. There we go. So I took a position for the break of that downward trend. As you can see, you know, we have a little bit of a downward resistance level. I thought, you know, we break it, maybe run up to the high. Who knows? I don't know. It's a small float, you know, has a history of making big moves here. Yesterday, reclaimed this whole sell-off here, you know, so pretty strong. So I thought, you know, we could see a move. I start, you know, trying to scalp the range here, looking then for that breakout. And kind of nothing really big here. I mean, I go for a pullback here for the break of 250, but I sold at 251, and then the other portion at 248. I guess I just got a bad fill in that last part. But, you know, nothing really significant happening. And SIDU still moving up. REV, I only finished up $10 on. Let's take a look at SIDU. Wow, this is, man, this is going to the moon. Took 225%. Jesus Christ. It's crazy. And I remember, you know, watching it right down here. How high does it go? How high does this thing go? We got some resistance here at 585, 575 area. So we might top out there. I don't know. I don't know if we're going over the 10s, but man, this is a crazy ticker. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But I did make most of my money there. So, you know, kind of happy with where I'm at here. 382 on the day. Here you can see my intraday P&L. So, you know, started red and then rallied up. Took a little bit off the top, and then topped out at 150 again, and then took some back off the top. By 10 o'clock, I'm still only up $50. And then we had nice trades on. So SIDU made me go from red to green, and then what was the other one here? This is EWMP popped up. EWMP popped up, and I rallied all the way up to $380. And then, you know, at the end of the day, gave some back at lunchtime, and then at the end of the day, kind of making that back a little bit. So looking good today. Some really good action pre-market and at the open, and at the end of the day for power hour. Hopefully we get action like this tomorrow. We're on a little bit of a good streak here this week. You know, a lot of good action, a lot of good opportunities to make money. So hopefully you guys are taking advantage of it. After we had that slow period a couple weeks ago that lasted like a whole month or two. So hopefully you guys are taking advantage of these opportunities, and I'll see you guys again back here for tomorrow's day trading recap. All right, peace guys.